It's Tuesday, week 5, year 1, and my birds in the background are quiet, so hopefully they're a bit noisy before. So hopefully we will be able to use this video to explain this morning's tasks. And if you don't want to, that's fine. You can get mum or dad to read it, but if you are using this, you can pause it and then do your work and then go on to the next one. So the first task that we're looking at this morning is spelling. All right, so yesterday you would have written down your words in your Monday column. So today, Miss Dempsey would like you to write down your words in the Tuesday column. Now, even though you're only being tested on your red words, it's important that we write all of them out so that you can see the different examples, because sometimes the digraph sh as in shark this week is in the middle of the word. Sometimes it's at the start. All right, so there's lots of different ways that we can use it. And the next activity, once you've written out your words, is going to be your spelling tasks. And it's Tuesday, word jumble day. Hopefully Miss Dempsey hasn't made any errors today. You can look for that SH. You can see the SH digraph in each of the words for you to start with. And then your job is to put them together. And I know you're good at this because every week Miss Haynes and I see how clever you are at jumbling our words. Once you have written out your words for Tuesday and completed your word jumbles, one of the tasks on your planner is to go on to Study Ladder. You can have a look down here on the games and find Walk the Plank underneath literacy. Now, I understand that the words could be a little bit tricky, and if you find that you would much rather do Hangman instead, that's your other choice. You can pick your red words and you can challenge someone in the house to play Hangman. I always suggest going on to level 1. And as we know, your job is to try and beat the pirate ship so that you can get on. He's a bit loud, isn't he? Get onto that submarine and find your way home. Now, I probably am telling you this and you already know, but one little trick I always know is if you go for the vowel sounds A and E and I and O and U first, there's always going to be a vowel in there. And then you can go for some of the common letters of the alphabet, the consonant sound. So let's see if Mr. Dempsey can beat the pirate. Okay, no A. What about an O? No luck, Miss Eddie. Let's try an E.
Land ahoy!
He's not liking my choices. We try an I. Okay, we hit the jackpot there. So it could be an I or it can be an I, but I think it's going to be an I sound because we only have a letter here and it's a closed sound. So what could be on the end of an I word? It might be a P, could be an ip sound, like pirate ship.
Land ahoy!
Doesn't like that one. It could be a T at the end for it.
There be treasure!
There's one at the start. Oh, I wonder if it's a common word. I'm going to go for something else here. I'm going to see if it could be the word this. No, I still might try an S. Could be trim. Could be twig. So now I'm just trying out different letters that might fit, and I think I might know. It could be twig, as in a little stick. Oh, and I made it. So remember, have a go of those vowel sounds A, E, I, O, U first. And if the words are too tricky, of course, you can do Hangman instead. So that's your spelling for today. All right, you've had some brain food. Perhaps you've had a bit of a brain break and a play. And next we have our reading for the day. So I've already logged into a Penguin. And you'll see whatever reading group you're in, it will be the books that you're reading for today. Don't panic if it doesn't say on the planner which book you're reading, because when mum or dad download your book study for the day, knowing on your group, it will tell you. Okay, so we might start with penguins because I have penguins up in front of me. So for Tuesday, today is the 12th of May. This is a little bit of activities to do before you read. So this one, penguins, you're going to look at the cover. What sort of story do you think this is going to be? What clues can you see about the story? Which is red socks and yellow socks. So that's the one that you'll click on in your library online. Say the word sock slowly. Sock. What sound do you hear at the beginning of the word? What sounds follow? Can you think of any other words that rhyme with sock? Now, if you're not a penguin, you don't have to listen to this. You can stop it, or you can bear with me and fast forward till we find your group. Every group will have this one where it says find your high frequency words right up the top. Miss O'Dempsey includes spelling words. So these are the spelling words that I would like the penguins to look at. And one of the activities after you've read your story is to see if you can find those. So in yellow here, it says that you then go ahead and you read your story and you can record yourselves and send that in to Miss Haynes and I. All right, penguins, we've done you now. And we don't need to look at this anymore. Let's see what we've got next. Let's go down to wombats. Where are my wombats? So wombats, you're reading a story today called I Write. And the job of this story is to help you predict what happens. It says up here, predict the stories. Here are your words that you're looking for. You're looking for the words and, dad, in, my, and on. And after you've read the story, Mr. Dempsey wants you to try and find those words in there. So before you read the story today of I Write, what are your favourite types of writing? Do you write letters? Do you like writing made-up stories or rocket writing? Where do you see writing in the world all around us? All right, so you're going to read your story and you're going to record it for Miss O'Dempsey or Miss Haynes. And then after, you have to find those words up here. See if you can find those words in your story and retell the story to mum and dad in your own words. So that's your job today, wombats. So if you are a wombat, you can now press pause and go on with that. If you want to keep listening, the next activity group will be the wallabies. So wallabies, this morning, you are reading a very funny book. When Itchy Witchy Sneezes. It's all about rhyming words and a very sneezy witch. And here are your words today. You need to be looking for the words and, away, she, the or the, and when. Now before you read your story today, look at the picture on the front cover. What do her clothes tell about her? What is she doing with her nose? What things make you itchy? What happens when you have an itchy nose? And then you're going to read the story. Now after you've read the story today, wallabies, I'm going to see if you can find those spelling words again, so maybe mum and dad can underline those for you. And then I'm going to get you to ask yourself, how do the lines and stars and shapes in the pictures help us to understand what's happening? So go back through and have a look at the pictures and see if you can tell someone at home how those shapes are helping the reader to understand what's happening to Itchy Witchy, the sneezing witch. All right, that's your job today, wallaby. So off you go. All right, if you're still with me and you're waiting for your next group, the next group we're looking at are the dingoes. Now, dingoes, I wish it was warm enough to swim. You're doing some swimming today in your story, and your job is to find the main events in the story. And here are your words. Are, had, have, in, jumped, and out. Now, who's having a swim? They want you to look at the title and ask yourself, who's having a swim before you read it? And then look at the next page called the title page. When do you think the crocodile will come into the story? Then you're going to read your story and record yourselves reading it for your teacher. And then after you've read your story, it says, can you find all of your high frequency words? So see if you can find your words had, have, in, jumped, and out. And draw a picture of the characters in the story and what happened to them. So dingoes, you can press pause if you are following along with me. That's your reading for this morning. Good morning, seals. Today you are reading the story, The Cooking Pot. And the idea of this story is for you to notice the patterns in the words that will help you to read them. Your words that I'd like you to find today are else, got, have, we, and will. Now before you read today, can I ask you seals to look at the cover? Can you read the title? What do you think this story might be about? Can you find the word pot in the story? You might even find it on the title of your story. If you can find the word pot, what are some other words that rhyme with pot? You're going to read your story to yourself, and then you're going to read it out aloud and record yourselves, please. And then after you've read your story this morning, you need to go back through and see if you can find all of those words that Miss O'Dempsey asked you to find before. See if you can find them on the page. And can you find the capital letters and full stops on each page of the story? And that's your job to do this morning, seals. Koalas, your reading book this week is called Just This Once. And the idea is that this story will help you understand syllables. So if I said to you, sunshine, Class 6, each one of those words has 2 syllables. Sunshine, class 6. So it's what we do in class when we break up our THRAS words. In your story this week, the words you're looking for are be, come, get, have, just, made, that, this, went, and once. So koalas, you're on the hunt for a few. Before you read today your story, look at the cover. What do you think, or who do you think, the main characters will be in Just This Once? What could the words in the title mean? So look through the story and at the pictures. Who are the other characters in this story? And then you'll be asked to read. So you go ahead and read your story, and then you can read it a second time and record yourselves. Try and do it on your own without mum and dad if you are already doing that, thank you. And then after you read, it says, can you find all of those words? Can you go along and find all of those spelling words for Miss OD? And can you say the word get? Which sounds can you hear in this word? Find the word get in the story. Can you see another word on this page that has the same beginning and end sound? Now, I've put the answer there for mum and dad, but I wonder if you can find that word, and that will be your reading for today done until Thursday. Well done to you, koalas, for your great work. And last of all, we have the echidnas. There you are hiding there. Your story this week is called Mum's Birthday. And the idea of this story is that you're going to learn to use question words. So the high frequency words, or the spelling words for you to look at this week: about, best, better, give, going, what, when, who, whole, and would. So before you read the story, can you look at the cover page and the title page and explain to someone at home, what do you think is going to happen in this story? How will the story begin? What might happen then? How is it going to end? And then you're asked to read the story, and then you can read it a second time, recording yourselves for your teacher. Now, after you read Echidnas, can you go back through the story and see if you can find all of those important words for Miss O'Dempsey? And then find the questions in the story. What do you notice about the way the questions are written? What words do they begin with? And this is some of the things that we talk about in our recount writing too. So when you've done that, Echidnas, your reading task this morning is done.